Hey everybody, AJ here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you a very quick tip on how to stop any program automatically starting when you turn on your PC. As you download and install programs on your computer, a lot of them have the auto start option turned on by default, and this means that when you turn on your computer, you can have multiple programs opening up that you don't want to use at the time, and it can also slow down how fast your computer turns on. So this quick tip is going to stop the annoyances of when programs automatically pop up when you first turn on your PC, and it should also improve the load time of your PC in general. Of course, if you find this tip handy, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you really want to supercharge the way you use Windows 10, hit that subscribe button as well. With that being said, let's get into this. So on my Surface Book 3 here, I just done a restart for you, and before I did the restart, I've enabled all programs to have their default startup on. And you can see down the bottom here, I've got Spotify that's open automatically. I've got the Surface Diagnostic Toolkit that's turned on by itself. If I had Microsoft Teams running and installed on this PC, that would pop up as well. PowerPoint's down the bottom, but I've chosen to open this myself so I can do the screen recording. But basically, when I turn on my computer, I have a few programs that are just opening up, and I don't need Spotify straight away. I don't need this Diagnostic Toolkit, but having these programs enabled means they start up when my computer turns on. If you find that this is an issue for you, maybe it's Spotify, it could be Microsoft Teams, or it could be any program that is opening up and you don't want it to, you can go into those programs individually and stop them from turning on. But if you want to see all the programs that are running in the background and auto starting at startup, what you want to do is on your taskbar, right click and scroll up to your task manager. Under the tabs here, you see you've got processes, performance, app history, and startup. So we're going to select startup, and we're going to see all the programs here that are opening by themselves on startup. You can see here that under the status, all these programs are enabled by default. And in the top right hand corner, it can show you the last time into BIOS. Of course, the least programs that are running, the faster your boot up time will be. And you can see here we've got iTunes is opening by default, Skype, the wireless display adapter, Xbox, app services, Spotify. All these programs are running and opening up by default when I turn on my computer, and I don't need and I don't want them to. I don't have many programs installed on this computer. It's quite clean and it's quite new. But if you've had a computer for a couple of years, I can imagine that your list here would be 20, 30, maybe even 40 programs long. So this is a very good tip, especially if you've had your computer for a couple of years. To stop a program opening up from startup, all you have to do is select the program in your task manager, and in the bottom right hand corner, select on the disable option. And you see the status has gone from enabled down to disabled. iTunes, again, we can disable that. Skype, disable. Basically go through this list and disable all the programs you don't need to start up when you turn on your computer. Of course, if I went into Spotify and opened it up manually, that's when it would turn on. So you're not going to impact or affect any of these programs, but you are going to improve your startup time, reduce the amount of programs that turn on when your computer switches on, and that in turn will help you save battery life because there is less programs and less processes running. What else can we turn off here? I will keep the wireless display adapter. Quick look, I use that, and send to OneNote, that is the only other one that I will turn off. So you can see here, out of the 14 programs that were enabled at startup, I've actually turned off half of them. So this means that Spotify isn't going to open by itself, Microsoft Teams won't open by itself. Any program that is auto running, you can actually disable it and choose when you want to open it up. You can see here in the top right hand corner, the last time into BIOS was 3.5 seconds. I'm actually going to stop, restart my computer and see if this has improved the startup time at all. Cool, so the startup's completed. You can see that the only program running right now is PowerPoint, and again, I chose to launch that myself. I don't have Spotify, I don't have the Diagnostic Toolkit, and if I right click and go into the Task Manager, let's see if that BIOS start time has reduced at all. So before it was 3.5 seconds, now if I go to my startup, we can actually see the launch time into BIOS has dropped from 3.5 to 3.2 seconds. So this computer has an SSD and it's really fast to boot up anyway, but if you have a slower, older computer, I'd argue that it would improve your startup time way more drastically than what I have seen here. But even still, with the few programs that I disabled, I increased my startup time by 0.3 per second. So this computer has an SSD and it's really quick to start up anyway, but with those few programs that I disabled, we saw that it dropped from 3.5 to 3.2 seconds in terms of boot speed. If you've got an older PC, or if you have a PC with a spinning hard drive and not an SSD, I'd say you'll see big performance gains in your startup time. And there you have it. It was that simple to stop any program automatically starting when you turn on your Windows 10 PC. Of course, if you find this video useful, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you really want to supercharge the way you use Windows 10, hit that subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.